So about living in One Piece. One Piece seemed like a really fun world to live in at first. Who wouldn't think at least once it would be cool to travel and fight bad guys like the Straw Hats, traveling the world, making friends and all that good stuff. But it isn't really until you try to really think about it that you realize how much it will suck to live in One Piece. Because we are going under the assumption that you're going in as yourself, not as Luffy or any strong characters already established. Either that or you get reincarnated as a random baby, and even with that you might end up as a different race besides being a human. People who would like to go into their world will probably want to be involved with Luffy in some way, but the chances of that being the case are extremely low. More than likely, you will just end up as a random civilian on some random island, which is honestly pretty great considering how dangerous One Piece is. It doesn't really set in until you really think about it, but One Piece is probably one of the worst animes to live in. It seems cool to be a pirate and all, but the overwhelming majority of pirates are how you expect them to be, pillaging villages, committing murder and all that other stuff you expect from pirates. The Straw Hats and other crews that are similar to them are in the very small minority, like they're a really small percentage of pirates. I honestly can't blame the Marines for thinking Luffy is a bad guy. For example, Smoker took a while to acknowledge that Luffy and his crew aren't bad people. It took him a long time to get to really know him and how his crew handles things, because from Smoker's perspective, that might even be the first pirate crew they have seen with any sense of morals. You can't really blame the guy for keeping cautious of Luffy and finding it hard to believe. The only Marines that know Luffy and his crew are actually good are very few, only like Smoker, Tashigi, Garp, and Drake, and maybe some others. You can't really blame the Marines for going after Luffy. The higher ups in the Marines are mischievous and have ulterior motives, but not the entire organization. The majority of the Marines are just trying to help in what they think is a good cause. They may be likely victims of pirates themselves, having their villages or towns ravaged by pirates. At least a good chunk of the Marines joined because they themselves faced something earlier on in their lives, so they joined the Marines to stop that happening to future generations. I would think the Straw Hats are assholes too if I was one of them. None of them have really known the Straw Hats personally at all, so all they would have to go off is what they experienced with other pirates, and the fact that they are a high bounty crew makes them seem like they're even worse than other pirates. But yeah, today I wanted to discuss what it would be like to live in the One Piece world. I was thinking about this randomly trying to come up with a video idea and thought it would be cool. I also remember a while back Teching 101 making a video about this too, so credits to him, you should check him out, he makes some good content. Before that though, like and subscribe for future content. Okay, so to make this a bit more interesting, I will do what I did in another video. It was an NL video I believe. I used a random generator to see where NL would land if he returned to the story. I will do the same thing but with some tweaks here and there. First I want to have a randomly generated race. It is likely you end up as a human, but it could be cool seeing how it plays out as another race. But to keep it simple, I'll just do humans, fishmen, mink, and giants. I will also have another generator for the island you are born and raised in. There will be 2 levels to this. I will first have a generator with 5 options, 4 of the options being one of the 4 blues and the other being the new world, and depending which sea it lands on, I will take every island that we know in that area and spin again, and wherever it lands will be the starting point to where we start out at. I won't know until after I'm actually making the video, but I am hoping for either the new world or North Blue at least, since the other 3 are a lot more uneventful I think, and since I can't really remember much about them off the top of my head. I will see it after, but if there really is nothing we know about them, I will just re-roll. But yeah, I will spin the wheel and see which race and which ocean that we get. So far we got the mink race and the West Blue. I did a quick Google search and it seems the West Blue has a decent amount to go off of. If we get O'Hara though, this is going to be a short-lived One Piece reincarnation. I will only include meaningful islands from the West Blue, since some of them we know literally nothing about besides the name. So only 3 were able to make the cut, that being O'Hara, Thriller Bark, and Kano Country. But yeah, let's see what island we start off with. Okay, I know I was talking about Ohara and all, but I swear that was not planned. I was thinking it maybe being a possibility because there aren't really that many options in the West Blue. It was really a 1 out of 3 chance, but that was really not what I was expecting. But I guess that is where we'll be starting at. I was going to try and have it play out in the current storyline, but due to unforeseen circumstances, we can't really do that now. I guess we can go back in time for this one and talk about some things that could have happened. Since we are thinking, I was thinking it would be an owl mink, since you know Ohara is basically a huge library, so a owl mink will fit the theme really well. And for how we ended up there, I guess we ended up being left there by being stranded or something. I had to go up there, since it is really far off from Zou. Kind of like how Kawamatsu ended up in Wano. But yeah, I mean, I think the people of Ohara would be nice to the owl mink. They seem to be one of the most open-minded people that you can get in the One Piece world, so you would actually live a pretty peaceful life there, well until the buster call and all that other stuff happens. But before that, I think you will live pretty well, unless you conveniently move to go live somewhere else before the buster call, but more than likely you'll end up getting caught up in the buster call. But yeah, that is pretty much a hypothetical I came up with where you're reincarnated into the One Piece world. It was looking pretty good at first, but then once I saw the wheel push over to Ohara, I knew it was over. I don't know why, but both videos where I did this kind of thing ended up so abruptly. In the Anel video, you only last like a day because of his ego, and in this one you only last maybe a few years at best until the buster call happens, depending how far back you want to go with it. But yeah, that is pretty much all I had to say. If you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe for future content. Peace.